please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
On then, India's quest for a dedicated data protection law continues, with the Justice Sri Krishna Committee likely to submit its recommendations for a draft bill before the end of the month. But the big question is, can this law have the same rules for the private players and the government? CNBC TV 18's Kevin Lee finds out in the fourth installment of Data Wars, a CNBC TV 18 special series.
Earlier this year, on the 25th of May, the European Union's new landmark data protection law, the GDPR, came into effect with the intention to protect citizens' data and penalize companies who are misusing this data. However, that same week, the European Commission accidentally leaked the personal data of hundreds of European citizens but faced no penalties under GDPR. So is there a level playing field for the government and private companies when it comes to data protection? GDPR's intentions to put citizens in charge of their data and penalize companies misusing this data were hailed across the world, and it is widely expected that new data protection laws across countries, including India, will borrow heavily from the legislation. Larger advertising and marketing agencies, a big pillar in the data ecosystem, have recognized this and begun efforts to become future ready.
Some of the advertisers or the publishers may have gone overboard over the last few years in terms of using data to target people, and we've had breaches where Cambridge Analytica and some of the companies have had misused the information that they got from publishers like Facebook. But I think that is sort of in the past. I think with GDPR coming in, I think people are going to become more sensitive.
But while hefty penalties may be enough to keep companies in check, holding the government accountable may prove to be more challenging.
When it comes to public sector, which is government and government's enterprises, this incentive is a little weak, because ultimately the cost is borne by the taxpayer or the government, which is the shareholder in these public sector enterprises. So there I think the approach should be more preventive and not so much, I mean, you can impose penalties, but that may not have the kind of effect it has in private firms.
It is this challenge that the Justice Sri Krishna-led committee will have to grapple with as it prepares its draft data protection law. And with initial reports coming in that the law may not apply retrospectively to data collection for Aadhaar, the assumption is that Indian citizens may have to wait for a few years before they have access to the right to be forgotten.
Suppose a right like this is there, then you will have to create exemptions from this right also, because there are systems in which the right to be forgotten should not be there. For example, the tax system. Tax system has a lot of your information which is required even after a few years of us giving that information to the revenue department. So similarly, in national security, there can be exemptions. Similarly, there can be exemption for national identification also, because it's a form of identification. Like you have PAN card, you can have Aadhaar card. There can be exemptions for that. But each exemption has to be properly thought through, so that you know that there is strong grounds for giving this exemption.
And while we'll have to wait for the report from that committee to come out before we know what rights we have and don't have, the Justice Sri Krishna Committee isn't the only body looking into data protection in India. The country's central bank has something to say on the matter as well. To find out more, tune in tomorrow. In Mumbai, Kevin Lee.